So give them a warm applause. It was Maria, Justine Leclerc and Lara Herrero.
Thank you so much, Laura, for your beautiful film. Just a quick introduction. I would like to talk a little bit about our guests tonight. So Lara Herrero Garvin, she was born in Spain. She has a master's in documentary making from the University Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona. She lived in Mexico for 8 years. There she filmed her debut documentary feature, The Swirl, which premiered at the Locarno Film Festivals and received many awards. And now La Mami is part of our feature-length competition. Welcome, Laura. And Justine Leclerc, she is from Den Haag. She's an awarded author. She has written 3 novels, Inglorious, Shrinkage, and Closed Due to Luck. She was the chairwoman of My Red Light Foundation, a non-profit window brothel in Amsterdam that has been established to promote better working conditions for sex workers. And currently she is a policy advisor at the City Council. So we will start with a question for Laura. I think it's fascinating how your film, in maybe 15 square meters or 20 square meters at most, talks so much and launches so many questions that really moved us and go out in such a powerful way that even moved us here tonight so many kilometers away. So this decision to establish a spatial delimitation was from the very beginning, or is something you decided when you were editing the film? How did you decide that your film would be encapsulated in a bathroom?
Yeah, so I will say sorry for my English because sometimes it's a little... So English is more Spanish. And so at the beginning I knew that the movie was going to happen mostly in El Barba Azul because it was like a microcosmos for me, like from patriarchal reality and life, woman life. But I was thinking at the beginning to make this transition in daily moments of La Mami. But finally, when I started to shoot the movie, I realized that this restroom was giving me more than I could imagine. So when I started to put a camera in the restroom and I started to see what life was giving me, was like, oh my God, I think like we don't need to go out. We have, actually, because as documentary filmmaker, you always protect yourself and you still work shooting more than you will need. So we have a gorgeous sequence outside the cabaret, like the photography is so beautiful and everything, but we had to take it away because without the movie was strongly staying most of the time in the restroom. Like we stay like 90% of the movie in this space, in this bubble, like, yeah. So it was like, the movie asked for that.
So we are going to talk about cinema, of course, but life is bigger than cinema. So we will bring also experiences from Justine here. We will share and try to connect the experience in Mexico with the experience in the Netherlands. So to give a bit more of context, because before we start, tell us a bit more what it means to be a fichera, because they are not exactly sex workers. Yeah. So it would be clear to make a point, what do they do? Yeah. And from where it comes this word fichera? Yeah. Ficha in Spanish is a token.
A token, like a coin. So, this is like a so typical Mexico City work. It's like in the 50s, like a lot of there were like a boom of cabarets. There were like a lot of cabarets where ficheras start to work, and they were like there are women who rent themselves to give company talks and dance with so have a drink or dance. So at the beginning they were changing because they don't want it to have money exchange. So they were working with fichas that have the value of a dance or of a drink or something, of the company of a drink, not a drink. and they were like changing at the end of the night. So the ficheras right now, they are not, they are working with the money right now. They are not using coins, but you know, they rent themselves for a dance or rent themselves as to have a drink with the customers, or maybe have a bottle. They usually mostly have a bottle, and during the time that they are drinking the bottle, they can dance and wherever, and talk, and you know, some kisses around sometimes.
So, Justine, you have written 3 novels, and we were talking before, and you were mentioning that you find that your language is very similar to the language of this movie. So I would like to know how this film touches you on a personal level, how you read it, how you feel it as an artist, before we connect it with the situation in the Netherlands.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. As an artist, this documentary is filmed like I try to write. There are no tears. There are no big emotions. No hysterica, no catharsis moments, big catharsis moments, no plot, no anything. There's only a slice of life. We go in, you see a slice of life, it's a hard slice of life. But without emotion, it's just more, it's coming into your body. So, you say this night that it's a sort of men way to look at the world. I don't know if it is, but I think it's more emotional and more heavy when there are no feelings at all. You don't see them. You only see the bodies, you see how they move, you see how they look. Some words, not too much. The conversation is not very big. I don't know, you have all your personal favorite scene in the movie. But my favorite scene, and that's for me, that's the whole documentary. The whole documentary is going to the scene that La Mami is... I say it like an Italian. What is that? Mami. La Mami. That Priscilla asked, or Carmen, your children, and she said, I had 5, and said, oh, what's happened? And then she said, they took my girl, and they still make up. And she only said, I'm sorry, and go on. And that's fucking life, you know? And that's the whole movie for me. That's really, really great. It's so good.
I really love the way you felt and read this film. It's fantastic. And I would love to know now how you connect this with the situation of the women who work in the brothel you used to run. Yeah. How you connect the situation in Mexico. Do you find similar things? What are the things that are not so similar?
Yeah, there are similar things. How women be together. That's typical. No, men are not like this. This is a typical woman living. They are so physical with each other. They use their makeup, etc. They making themselves beautiful. It's not beautiful. I think in the brothel also. One girl said to me when we drinking tea with each other, well, now I'm going to my room and change to get my costume on. I don't know, that's not very good English, but I hope you understand costume. And that's what they're doing. When you're an actor, you're doing that also. You do the makeup, the hair, clothes, and then you're somebody else. And that's what they also do in the brothel. They it's acting. It's not that woman who's working in the brothel. It's not that woman dancing. It's a little bit of the person, and the rest of it, it's acting. But there are also a lot of difference because I don't know much of the Mexico culture, so I was on Google a lot these days. But in this scene when she's saying, they took my girl, then you see, and I think all the Dutch people also recognize, in these little words are a huge difference, because in the Netherlands we will never say they took my girl. There is something very dramatic in these words, because there is a sort of understanding and accepting and destiny that it is the society who kills the woman. You never will say in the Netherlands, they took my girl. We will say, oh, my girl, they murdered her, or they had a very bad accident and it's terrible and they will cry, etc. So you see in the choices of the words and how they moved that it's such another culture.
And maybe, Laura, this is beyond culture, but probably they say they took my girl because in Mexico, like, impunity towards crimes against women and feminicidios is just on a daily basis, unlike in the Netherlands. So the body of a woman and the body of a poor woman and a body of a dark-skinned woman has even less value. We can see this clearly in the makeup sessions. So I wonder how do you connect this with the situation in Mexico? We were talking a lot about makeup, and I like your interpretation about it.
Yeah. Actually, she said they took my girl because, the husband of her down there killed her. So it was a feminicidio. And yes, I was like, when you guys told me to go, to do a dog talk about with her, and like, I start to think how I can. How are the coincidence and the difference? And I always think that, when I start to do this movie, I always wanted to think in them not as victims, if them with the agency, in their agency all the time. But also, I always think that to be a Mexican, poor and dark woman is more difficult than, it's like, and there is like when their job is super, there is a lot of judgment and stigma around this job. And when I start to talk with them, to talk with them about the documentary and how they feel it and how they will dream that the documentary could be, and they always talk about the stigma that the society put to them, and they say, like, as me, as poor woman, a lot of girls told me that in the bathroom. As me, as woman, I have two choices. I am, all of them that are single mothers, all of them. So they say, I have two choices: work in a supermarket my whole day, having pain, like getting paid 10 times less than I can get here in a night. And it's like, and here I can work 4 hours in the night and I can go out and be with my kids. And it's like, life, like society give me these two choices. And right now that I have to feed my kids and I have to give education, I want to go with that. I think I go to another place, right?
Wherever you want.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's like, there is a lot of like, I think the movie tried to dialogue all the time with this, precarity, but also with all this agency and power of the woman that, it's like, fuck, if I am poor and I am whatever, I am gonna like take my kids and feed them, and they are gonna go to the university, and they are gonna, and that's for me the most powerful thing.
So one common thing could be that they are single mothers. Something else that I see in your film is like an internal migration, like Priscilla is coming from Tijuana and, you know, to this huge metropole, Mexico City, which is the largest city in Latin America. And Justine, we were talking that also the women who work here in Amsterdam, they are, most of them, also immigrants from Eastern Europe or the Latin America and the Caribbean. So it's also immigration, and usually irregular immigration put them at the higher risk of exploitation, of abuse. It's, maybe Justine, you can talk about that now.
Yes, that's always a discussion. Is it abuse? Is it human trafficking? In the red light district in Amsterdam, there are a lot of East European girls and Latin American. It's always the discussion, what is freedom, what is choice? And you always look with your own culture baggage. When I look with my Hollandse eyes to this documentary, hey, you said they have two choices, the supermarket or dancing. I will also choose the dancing, but when you have only two choices, well, I will say that's not having a choice. I think you have a more human society when all people have more than two choices, because otherwise you're stuck. What is the choice? The supermarket or dancing? That's no choice at all, because 40% of the Mexican people are poor, really poor. And the girls on the My Red Light district, it's not like the girls in this bar, because our girls, we have no plastic bags or plastic drinking coffee bakers. What is bakers? Cups. They have bags from Chanel, and they have really beautiful clothes. Our girls are rich when I compare them with the girls in Mexico. But the question is, do they have a choice? They also have children in East European. They want to have a good education for their children also. That's also the choice of the girls in Mexico. They also build houses for their parents. And a lot of people in the Netherlands who make policy say, well, we think this is human trafficking. And when I talk to the girls, they're always saying, who are you to decide that I'm forced to do this? I feel free. And what can I say when they say I feel free? So I think, but I don't know, and I'm very curious, when I can speak to all the girls who's working in the bar, if I am asked them, are you feeling free in your head? Not if they are free, but are you feeling free in your head? Because that's the most important thing.
And were you having these conversations with them, like off the record, or maybe they are recorded? How do you think they see it?
I think there are girls who feel more free than others, actually, like all time. And there are like, I had a lot of conversations with two of them that I see all the time that they enjoying it a lot. You know, they have their príncipe, ¿cómo era príncipe? Prince? Ah, pensaba que Prince era princesa. So they have their prince. They have, you know, they like to play, to be ficheras, and to, you know, and they are working like this. And they told me, for example, that they were working in another place like dance hall, and they closed it because sexual trade. So the government closed it because sexual trade, and they say to me, Laura, they were not sexual trade there, and they closed it, and now we are like trying to, like, it was like my, you know, my life for like 5 or 10 years, and now we are like looking for another kind of job because they closed it. And I know there are sexual trade in Mexico, and in Mexico City there are one of the cities in the world that there are more sexual trade, but there are another places also that, and there are girls who have these two choices, or 3 or 4, or I don't know, but these two choices that the girls told me. And just to be here, and we are we are nobody to say, hey, you are not free or you are free. For Priscilla, for example, was like a huge solution to find the cabaret, you know.
And Priscilla is back in Tijuana now?
She is still working in the cabaret.
She still works in the cabaret. So she decided to stay in Mexico City.
She decided to stay, yeah.
Let's open the room for questions. I wonder who would like to start. Questions or comments are very welcome.
Start with you. Only questions.
No. Okay. Question marks. Question marks. I know it now.
I have a question to Lara. Can you talk a little bit about the access to how long did you observe before filming and how were you accepted?
Yeah, that was the rudest thing in this process. Because when I realized that I wanted to do this movie, I went to talk with La Mami, and she is super rude with white girls like me. But I don't know why, we have a connection, and I say, okay, come in Tuesday at night. And in Tuesday night, I was like, Oli. And she was like, and she say, okay, and we start to talk, and we have a close relationship, but the girls were super rude at the beginning with me. Because actually, like 1 month before I came there, some guys from a university went to take pictures and they put it in Facebook without saying to anyone. So they were super, super angry about it. And one camera there was like a knife. And it was like, I spent 3 years going there without put the camera. One day I tried to put the camera and maybe someone were killing me. And I say, okay, I will not put the camera anymore. And I spent 3 years. The first years, a lot with La Mami, and later I start to talk with the girls one by one, telling them about the movie that I wanted to do and how I wanted to do and why I wanted to do, and asking them if they wanted to be there. Some of them say, yes, I want to be the whole of me. Some of them say only boys, and another say back and boys. So I have to think, you know, that always the way to shoot the movie that I wanted to shoot, occulting the girls that they want to be there. For example, the girl who called this boyfriend and say, I am working with all people. She didn't want it to be there, and her face is not there. And yeah, 3 years. Bien.
Okay. Hi. Okay, thanks for this wonderful film. I was wondering if Priscilla was kind of a fictional character, or maybe it's my imagination, but if it's yes or no, and why? That's the question.
No, she was a person of life. I always say that. It's like, one friend said to me that I am a lucky girl and that I spent 3 years investigating, because at the second year I was tired. I was investigating and also looking for fans. And when I have all the girls ready, all the fans ready, and I can start to shoot, this first week Priscilla came.
Really?
And it was like, what? And it was like, because I really was thinking in another movie. Actually, I was shooting another girl, Balie, that is in the movie, like one pretty woman with the curly hair, and she was being the second character, and she had to go away the cabaret. So I was super sad, like I lost Valeria, wow. And Priscilla came, and I said, oh my God. It happened something super curious with Priscilla, because when I talked with her, she told me that okay, but I don't want to, she say, okay, and later she say, I don't want my face in. And I say, oh. But I didn't say, oh, to her. I say, okay, the most important thing for me is that you are comfortable with this movie. I was like, okay, no worry. And she came like 1 hour later and said, you know, I was thinking in that, I want to be in, like, come on. And she did like this, like, come on, I give you everything. And it was amazing, like.
And how you were thinking before she appeared, because she's essential in the small plot that there is, no, that you are following. Like, okay, you are trying to understand what happened with the son. She would stay until when? So it's something important in the movie. How you were doing it before she appeared.
if I was doing the...
No, o sea, ¿cómo pensabas hacerlo sin ella?
Before, No, before I wanted to do a movie more focused in La Mami as a center, and my first, the thing that I wanted to do at the beginning was like, for me, it was important this room as the room of their own, as a space for alliance and for reflection and for talks, and how this room is important to survive to this downstairs dance floor competition, blah, 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 blah. So I was doing more like a choral movie. But finally I didn't, and I am so happy.
I have a question, and thank you for the film. I was wondering how was the reaction of the girls who were in front of the camera when you project the film to them.
So I am now living in Barcelona. I finished the movie like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I called La Mami and Priscilla and say that we were going to send the team that they love, La Mami, and they know so good, the small team, and they were going to shoot, to bring them a projection room and everything. And she said, no, I want to see the movie with you in my side. And I say, but I can be by Skype, and I can be talking with you if you want. I can be by Skype the whole movie. And she told me that no, that she will wait until I go, and I am going at the beginning of the year, next year. So she decided to wait. So she didn't see.
Who else has a question? Yeah, so there, and then Emily.
Thank you for your beautiful film. I have a question about the males downstairs. Did they agree to be filmed, to be part of it? Did you have a quit claim, for example, with them?
Yeah. So the customers that go there, mostly their family don't know about that they are going there. Because so for the movie, I go down with my camera twice, and I was shooting particular clients that I know. I had been 5 years doing this movie, so I know a lot of customers. So in a moment, we realized that the better thing for the movie will be do a special day for a party, where the customers that want to be in the movie will be inviting, and other people who like to dance in Mexico City come with us. So we did this party, and we shoot this day, so we could be free to shoot everywhere, and nobody will be, also for the girls. Because, I'm not going to say a girls, hey, go away to your job if you don't want to be in the movie. So we did this special party, and the girls who wanted to be in the movie came, and also the customers, and we invite another customer also, another guys who like to dance, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have another question. Okay. Yes, thank you, Laura, for this beautiful film. Documentary is a work of trust. I just wanted to know how many days did you shoot this? And my second question, how is the son of Priscilla doing? Did he survive cancer or not? Because it was her main reason to do this work.
I think the trash is, it was these 3 years being there and being, just staying there, and I became a friend of them. I spent 3 years going to baby showers, everything. They invite me, and we were super friends. We are now super friends. We go out for party and everything. And actually, I did one. I didn't say in the whole IDFA that one day I did as a fichera. Because they asked me to do it, and I did it, and it was funny and angry at the same time. But and so I became not the camera woman. I became like a friend who was there, and they were super natural at the end. So we were thinking that we were going to shoot, I don't know, 30 days, and we shoot like 25 days or something like this. That for me, for a documentary, is super.
25 days in a row, or split it?
No, I split in 7 months because I wanted to follow this Priscilla. Yeah. So we did like a week when Priscilla were not there, and later another in 7 months. And Priscilla's son is good. No, it's real, the conversation. So he ¿cómo se dice? Recover. And he went to Tijuana. No, actually, he was studying in Mexico City University. That's why Priscilla came to Mexico City, because the son was studying there, and she came later too. Yeah.
And is this still something like a secret for Priscilla? Like, what is going to happen when your movie becomes a hit in Mexico?
That's, with the other girls, but because it was at the beginning a lot of saying no, and in the process of the shooting was saying, Laura, come on. Like, and they were like coming more and more, and I was saying like, hey, you make me move the camera like a lot of times, and now you want to be in, and Priscilla, I talked with her, and she said that she doesn't care. She will invite that she's an actress, or she will say that that she was working there. Priscilla has a super complicated past. I think this thing is not it's not as complicated. Okay. So she's not worried nothing about that. She never she said at the beginning no, but it was like half hour, and later she came and yeah.
Hi, I have a question for Justine. Would you have allowed Laura to film at your brothel, and what kind of a film do you think would have resulted from that?
It would be great.
For me too.
And it never will be happened. No, the stigma for sex workers is so huge. So there are not a lot of girls and women who want to be in a documentary or on TV or in a newspaper. The discussion about sex workers in the Netherlands, there are only, I think, 10 sex workers in the whole country who want to be in public saying, I'm a sex worker, and that's it. We know them all. When you look at the news, you always see the same girls. And they're always Dutch, and there are no Dutch girls at my red lights district. So it would be so great, because the way you filmed, then people will see how it really goes, and that it's a totally other world. On the other side, there's also this thing in brothels that men are a little bit scared about it, or that it's heavy, or that it's a secret or mysterious, and it isn't. But we must let that. Laten bestaan.
Let it exist, yeah.
Let it exist, yes, sorry. Because that's why they pay. If we tell them how normal it is and how boring sometimes, they don't get enough money. So I think it will never happen.
Are you also like selling a piece of magic then, or a fairy tale?
Yes. Well, the fairy tale, yeah. But
an idea,
magic, and they also feel, when you go to the red light district, there's also the feeling that it's a little bit, it's naughty. It's maybe there are a lot of criminals, a lot of strange people. Well, they are not there because the criminals are living in Brabant. It's a no other sector, But we do, when I walk there as a chairwoman, and people ask me on the street because I look very angry because I am the owner of a brothel. So you walk like you have this attitudes. And then I've always these little boys, 50, 60, 70 years, and I want to work for you. I can do things for you. I can beat up boys who are, because they're very exciting that there is a brothel woman. But, it's shit, but we need it.
How is your relationship with the women who work in the brothel? of course, I will not compare you with La Mami, but do you have a...
No, I'm not La Mami.
But in terms of support, I think this figure is amazing for what she gives to the girls. So I want to know, how do you relate with the women who used to work in the brothel?
Well, you can see I have not a character of La Mami. La Mami is a real mother. And she's safe. She do nothing. She's only kind and straight, and you can see and feel that she had a rough life. But it's very important for girls that there are a lot of different people around them, and that they feel secure, and also that they know that you recognize it. So a lot of people who work in brothels on the office are ex-sex workers, because that are the only people they accept it for the 100%. Yes. We have also people work in the office who are not ex-sex workers. And I can say 90% of them, they say, oh yes, sex work is very normal, I accept them. And then they work for a week and then they try to help the sex workers to go out the business. And so...
The activists. Is there one more question? Maybe one important question we can close with? I come to you.
Well, I don't know whether it's important. I'm curious, Josephine, what you said, like, I would love to have such a film in the Netherlands or with my girls, because then everybody starts understanding what it's like. I'm curious what do you think will happen if that happens? Will it change our minds?
Well, the biggest problem at the moment is that we is political, the university people, important stakeholders in the Netherlands, that they think they can say what is human traffic and what is abuse. And they make rules and laws about how they're thinking. And we have always discussion with the girls because they have another view about human trafficking and when it's forced or not forced. So we have always problems in brothels and escorts, etc. That the city council make their rules about the whole prostitute branch. But they based on, well, I don't want to say lies, but they based on ideas. They are the ideas of a Dutch white male who are studied in the university. Yeah, I make myself clear? Okay.
Well, thank you so much. Laura, Justine, Parwin, Emily, it was amazing, this comparison between IDFA and the Balie. I hope we can repeat it throughout the years, and I wish you the best of lucks, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Maria.